my gosh, you don't know how excited I am. GI Sports got in contact with me. They own Tippmann. Yes, Tippmann. Oh my gosh. For once, I can truly say this really isn't just another M4. This bad boy takes CO2 and HPA. Today's video is powered by GI Sports and Tippmann. Again, not just any M4, gas powered with realistic recoil, adjustable velocity and rate of fire, compatible with AR-15 M4 accessories, and of course a 6mm caliber BB M4, because again, Tippmann, very famous in the paintball world. Again, very excited that you can put CO2 in a rifle, because normally I do a lot of airsoft pistols on this channel and often they're going to be like green gas, and sometimes I do, you know, a few CO2, but whenever I do a green gas pistol I always see comments saying would have preferred it if it was CO2, and I never thought I would ever see the day where I'm unboxing yet another M4, but this time one that takes CO2 straight in the mag, not even in the primary itself, in the mag. And you're probably thinking, well, why is that? Why not in the actual unit itself? Because out of the box, that is an HPA M4. And the fact that it's a system where you can put the CO2 in the mag, that leads me to believe you can use many other M4 type AEG mags right inside this bad boy, if you're using it as an HPA rifle. Let's get this bad boy open. Oh, cool. Oh, hell yeah, and good grief, would you look at the size of this instruction manual. Oh, excellent. So it's in various different languages, hence the reason why it is fairly thick. And from what I can see, pretty decent manual. Very detailed. I want to see what else you get in this box. Wow. Look at all of these accessories. And I kind of know why all of that is in the box. We'll get into that in a moment. So this one is the non-CO2 mag. So if you like a standard AEG mag that you would use if you're going to use this as an HPA platform. Okay, what else? Ah, yes. You get an armourer's wrench or a gunsmith tool. Okay, anything else? Yes, there is a flash hider. Now, if you're wondering why has this come separate, you'll see why when I take the rifle out. Haha. Truly is not just another M4. Look, and there's the reason why there's another flash hider in here, because Tippmann is an American company, so by default it will come with your orange flash hider. Lovely. Okay, so before I go any further, let me just quickly show you. So when you buy this particular M4, it is ready out of the box to be used as an HPA rifle. Now, if you're new to Airsoft or you have no idea what HPA is, there's various videos online that will explain all of that to you. But here's my basic thing. It's high pressure air. So basically you would have this bad boy strapped to your back or on your side, and you would have a remote line or remote coil like this connected to that tank I just showed you, and that remote line or coil will connect directly to your grip connector. And that basically means you can run your primary without a battery, without gas, without anything but high pressure air. But it's not as simple as that. You also have to have a regulator, and there's one or two other things that you need to do. But anyone that runs HPA on their Airsoft primary or even sidearm will tell you nothing beats it. Nothing beats HPA. It beats gas, it beats CO2, it beats definitely AEG. Why? Well, it's very consistent. And you're not affected by your environment in terms of weather conditions, how cold or how hot it is. But that's for all you HPA devotees. However, there's many of us out there would prefer the simplicity and the more stable platform of CO2. Now, when I say stable, way more stable than green gas, okay? And people prefer it over batteries, AEG. Now, when you get this bad boy out of the box, as I said, it's ready for HPA. And that is where all of this comes into play. So the first thing I'm going to do is to install the CO2 capabilities of this M4. Now, I'm not going to do this on video because it will just make this video even longer than usual. So I'll be right back. And there it is, people. It really is very simple to convert this from HPA to CO2. And the fact that you get everything in the box is awesome. So it was that simple. I practically only had to change one little bit in here, dropping it in, and it's now ready to take CO2. And you can appreciate, if you now look in the magwell, you can see the section right there that will pierce your CO2 cartridge. Now, I just want to show you, I've got the receiver open again by just taking out one pin, which is a retainer pin, so it doesn't come out fully. Then you just open it up like this, just like the real thing. So if you want to adjust your rate of fire right there using the supplied Allen key, so if I pop that in, okay, that's in. I can adjust the rate of fire on this bad boy. So turning it counterclockwise will increase your rate of fire. Clockwise will naturally decrease. However, you've really got to do it in small increments. If you go too far counterclockwise, the rifle will fire single shots or short bursts. And if you go too far clockwise, the rifle will not fire at all or fire very slowly. Now, if you look on the upper section right here, let me see if I can just point at it for you. Right, it's just there. So now on this one, turning it clockwise will reduce the FPS. Counterclockwise increases it. And again, small increments. So now that this bad boy is ready to run on CO2, there are one or two other little things you might want to do. For example, down here is where you would put your line for your HPA. Do you really want that sticking out whilst you're running this as a CO2 platform? No. Plus, look, your grip connector is still exposed. So all you have to do is remove it. And that's the size spanner I will be using to take it off. There you go, it's off. But again, as you can see, although it's now nice and flush from the side, nothing protruding, you've still got that exposed bit right there. Never fear, because in the box supplied, and this is what I love about this package, they literally supply all that you need for the conversion. And in the box, I found this, and this will close nicely. And again, anything on this rifle that requires an Allen key or hex key, every single Allen key / hex key is supplied in the box. So I found this one in the box, and this fits nicely. Beautiful. Now that that place where your HPA line would go in is now blocked off and nicely sealed. Oh, by the way, that white stuff that you saw around that and on that other piece, that's some like plumber's tape. Like, it's a sealing thing, Teflon tape. It just gives you a nice tight seal. And now that that's in, we can almost get ready to put the CO2 in and test this bad boy. But first, let me just complete that picture. And note, because we now have that CO2 kit installed, you can't put any old mag in this rifle, you have to now use your CO2 mag. Look, because it's got that whacking great hole there where you would put your CO2. But again, I'm not going to put that in just yet. I just want to see what this bad boy looks like when you insert that mag. Nice. So let's have a very quick, and I mean really quick, look at what you get with this rifle, because it's an M4, so we know what you're going to get with that basically. So you've got your stock, which is retractable. You've got your many different positions. So on the stock, you have a sling point and a sling point here. Your very nice texturized and serrated grip. Your fire selector switch clicks nicely into place. Oh, very nice. There you have your trigger and trigger guard, and right there, some Tippmann trades. Tippmann Tactical, Fort Wayne, Indiana, USA. Yes, again, Tippmann, an American company. But they have bases in the UK and other countries too. Cool. There's your paddle. You have your Tippmann logo, more Tippmann trades, and it also says M4 carbine, caliber 6mm, and there's your serial number. And the interesting thing about this particular model, apart from this being the version 2, so don't mix this up with its first version of this particular rifle, version 2, as you saw, for me, came out of the box HPA ready. But then you had to convert it to CO2 if you want to use it as a CO2 platform. The first version was CO2 ready, and then you had to convert that to HPA. But the more interesting thing, Tippmann as a company not only of course make airsoft rifles and what they're more known for, paintball markers, they also make the real steel version of these. Yes, the M422 rifles by Tippmann. How cool is that? But that's not all. The very same production line that makes the receivers for the real version also makes the receivers for the airsoft version. Nice. So when we go to the top at the rear, you've got this very tactical looking flip up rear sight. That is fully adjustable. And then right here, you've got your Tippmann logo. And then right here, you've got your charging handle. And this is not just for looks. Trust me, we'll get back to that in a moment. But as we move along, you've got plenty of rail space. And another very tactical looking flip up front sight. And again, that too is adjustable. And then right here, you have your M-LOK handguard and that floating outer barrel. Then as we get to the business end, at the end of your barrel, you have your flash hider. Remember, it comes with an orange one and this black one and a nice little Tippmann logo. And there's your business end. Right, so that's pretty much it for this side. Let's take a look at the other side. So as we move it in, you have your forward assist, more Tippmann logos, your mag release, your dust cover, and look, you've got something printed on here, all your warnings, nice. And we get back to the charging handle. So when I pull that charging handle, this will open, but it does more than one thing. Nice. Letting go of that charging handle will return it, but your bolt stays open. And unlike any other M4 in my collection, your hop-up adjustment is right there. Yep, right there. And to adjust your hop-up, you would need an Allen key or hex key, and yes, there's one in the box. So, let's get the mag ready. In fact, we'll get this one ready. And notice on the mag, there's a button. We'll get back to that in a moment. But right now, let me just fill it up. Okay, let's get one of these in. Now, this is the cool bit for me. As you've seen already, there is a large hole that will take your CO2. You simply drop it in like that, it will stop. You get round to that button that I mentioned before. You press said button, your CO2 drops in. Now, before you insert the mag, pull that charging handle back. And then note, when you're putting the mag in, you will hear an initial click. Now at that point, your CO2 cartridge, depending on how you put the mag in, should be pierced. If it's not pierced, you need to push it in further. But this one has been pierced. Oh, I'm getting excited now. I've got my BB stopper down there. I'm going to take a single shot just to make sure it works. Oh, come on, baby. And boy, does this kick. Now, if you're thinking the rate of fire on this sounded a little slow, remember, you can adjust the rate of fire. And I'll do that once the mag is empty. I'll get it open and get it to go faster. But for now, let me just check the FPS. Right, so I've adjusted this so it shoots pretty hot. Bit too hot for gameplay, but within the UK legal limits. But again, you can crank this down so it does about 330, 340, 350, which is pretty much suitable for gameplay. Nice. Oh, close. Right, I've also turned that rate of fire up just slightly, because I need to work out how much you really need to turn it for it to make a huge difference. So don't expect it to go really fast or anything. It will just be slightly faster. Nice. Now again, check out the rate of fire now that I've turned it up a little more. Oh my gosh. That sounded awesome, but again, it's not advisable to just crank it all the way to the top. It's advisable to just play with it a bit, turn it up a little bit, get it to a nice, rate of fire that you like, and then stop. Because if you go all the way to the top, like I said before, you may encounter some issues. Okay, accuracy test. 4 here, I'll do 4 here too. And this time I'll take a single shot here. Oh my gosh, would you look at that? The groupings on this is amazing. There too, and if I'm not wrong, take a look. Perfect. Yeah, baby, I'm claiming that one. Really happy with these results, and then I took a single shot down there, and to be fair, it's still within that center spot, the big red oval shape, and it clipped the edge of the X. Nice. And I absolutely love the kick this thing gives. Let me see if you can appreciate the kick. I'm just going to hold it with one hand and watch the jolt. You see what I'm saying? This is why I love this platform. You can adjust your FPS. You can adjust your rate of fire. You can use it as CO2 or HPA. And just so you know, the actual build of this piece. So naturally your magazine, your grip, your stock, that's all going to be polymer. Now, your rail system from there to here is metal. Everything here, the receiver, all of this, metal. However, your hand guard and this portion of the rail, polymer. But not just any old polymer, really strong and sturdy. Your sights are also polymer, and your flash hider, polymer. Okay, as much as I get excited and really appreciate when companies send me stuff for free to review and keep, I'm always going to keep it real with you. If I find anything that I think, I wish that was different, I'm going to tell you. Having said that, there is one little thing you have to keep in mind. It's an 80 round mag. Now, the good thing is, one CO2 cartridge will fire all 80 rounds. However, there will be some CO2 left in the cartridge. So every time you go to change that mag or refill the mag, this will happen. Now, technically, that's not the end of the world because you're firing all 80 shots. But yeah, you are going to get a little expel of CO2 every time you remove your mag. And here's the catch. Don't ever pull that mag out just to check if there's any rounds left. Keep firing and you'll know when there's no rounds left. Because if you pull that mag out, goodbye that capsule. You'll have to put a new one in and you would have wasted the other one. So keep that in mind. Having said that, what an awesome platform to be able to use it as an HPA rifle or a CO2 rifle. The possibilities of using many other branded mags when running as HPA. Now, because of the current lockdown, I wasn't able to go to the local diving store so that I could fill up this little HPA tank and demonstrate the HPA capabilities. But never fear, there will be a part 2 once all this lockdown has ended and I'll set this up as HPA. So look out for that video soon. Now again, because this came directly to me from GI Sports / Tippmann, it didn't come to me from a retailer, so I don't have a direct link. But trust me, most of your major retailers all stock Tippmann. Thanks again to GI Sports and Tippmann. And most of all, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time on the Airsoft Mike YouTube channel. More information about this Tippmann and their AEG lines, yes, let me not forget to tell you, if this isn't your thing or you'd like to spend less money, Tippmann also do AEGs from the pocket friendly upwards. Check the video description for more info. Catch you next time.